win a founder edition of the Model Y or a Roadster. So today, I don't know if you've been following the channel and the videos I've done before, but there's one I've done on the Wi-Fi and I can't download the latest software for some reason. In fact, they sent me another version of it and it failed again, even though I had a really strong Wi-Fi signal. So I'm going to have to take the car into the actual service centre. They've said, can you bring it in? Weirdly, they want it the whole day. I don't know why. I thought it would be like a 25-minute download or maybe a USB stick into the computer directly, but they want it the whole day. So they want me to bring a driving license so I can actually have one of the hire cars, which is nice. It's just a bit weird that they want it the whole day. But I just thought I'd document this anyway because, like I say, I like to document everything I'm doing with the car, no matter how small. So hopefully this is small. Hopefully they're not going to come back and say that the wheels are needing to be replaced and the whole motors or something like that. But anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll see if I can ask them some questions as well, just little things about why the Wi-Fi is so bad and things like that. Maybe they know, maybe they won't, maybe they don't want to be on film. But let's find out. So I'm at the service place now. I'm going to go in and just see. I've got my driving license and stuff, so I'm going to just go in and then find out how long they're going to need the car for. They said a day, but let's see, and also see if they can answer some of my questions about the Wi-Fi and things like that. Okay, so here's something novel I didn't know. Basically what I've got to do is I've got to drive it up to that door over there, the one big glass frame, and then it'll open for me apparently, and then I'd literally line up behind the other cars that are in service, and then they're going to sort of talk to me about what the issue is, I guess, and go through. So it's like a conveyor belt. It's quite interesting. Let's try it out. Okay, so I'm in the Model S at the moment, which was very kind of Tesla to lend it to me. It smells a bit funny in here. I guess it's about 2 years old now. It's probably been used by a lot of people. It has a bit of a pungent, strange smell. I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Probably don't want to know what it is. But anyway, that aside, it's nice. Yeah. So let's go for a little drive. Okay, so brake, reverse. Unable to drive. Authentication required. Press key fob. Okay, so that's another thing that's different between this and the Model 3 is the key fob. Oh, okay, double click. Okay, now actually I drove this earlier and weirdly it came up with, it was preparing or something, preparing to, oh hang on, what's it doing now? Press brake pedal, yeah I did that. Okay, it's working now. And what it did was, sorry, I've got to concentrate because the drive is such a windy drive coming down. I hope the camera doesn't slip down with my blue tag on it. Yeah, so what was weird was it was saying something about preparing to go into drive mode or something like that, and it just wouldn't go into, it just wouldn't start. And I thought maybe it's because I had to do something else that I didn't know. But as far as I'd driven it before to get here, and it was fine, and I'd also driven to the shops in it and hadn't had that problem, so I didn't know what it was. And I just looked up on my mobile while I was in the car, and it turns out it was something to do with the USB. Really weird. So I took out the USB that was plugged in for the phone charger, and it worked. So I don't know what that's all about, some sort of weird bug. But anyway, so my thoughts on the Model S driving it are that it's a lot different to the Model 3 in feel. I think the steering wheel was a bit bigger, which I like. I think it's quite nice. It is quite handy having the dashboard, the front screen in front of you. I don't think it's that different really. I think you get so used to looking to the side that there's almost a bit too much information now, because I guess again it's what you're used to in the car, but looking from left, sometimes you have to look to the left, sometimes you have to look straight ahead in this, whereas in the Model 3 you just know everything's on that screen. So I guess there is an advantage to having it in front of the dashboard as well, but you do get that extra bit of clutter which doesn't feel quite as nice. It almost feels a bit dated, dare I say. Even though it's a 2-year-old car, and you know the latest ones have got the same layout. It feels a little bit dated. Acceleration. Oh yeah, it beeps to tell me that I'm just above the speed limit there of about 2 miles per hour, and it'll beep. So the speed limit here is 50, and it'll beep. It'll beep even if I'm going just above it. Regeneration, regen braking isn't as strong as in the Model 3 Performance. Not sure if that's the same for the standard range, because I think regen on the Performance Model 3 has got a stronger regen. So it's quite weird getting used to the lesser amount of regen on this. But anyway, you know, it's still nice to drive. It just the only comparison I could come up with the difference between this and the Model 3 is the Model 3, if it was in boat terms, would be like a jet ski, and this is more like a yacht. It's just, everything feels a little bit more floaty. The suspension has definitely got more cushioning because of the air suspension. You can definitely feel that over potholes or very small sort of like tarmac damage. You can feel the difference on the suspension. But the whole kind of like, you go to turn, it feels like it doesn't respond as quickly, whereas the Model 3 is very instant in its turnability and responsiveness of the steering wheel. That's really annoying. I'm doing 33 miles per hour, and it's telling me that I'm doing 3 miles per hour over the speed limit. So that you can turn off, I'm pretty sure. I think because it's a hire car, it's a Tesla's customer car thing. They probably put it on there just to stop people from speeding, just because it's so annoying. I don't actually know how you turn it off. I did look to see how to turn the beeping thing off, but I couldn't find it. But yeah, overall, I like the Model S. I just feel it's a little bit big for me compared to the Model 3. Like I say, I don't like the seats actually. The colour I don't particularly like. Obviously, you can have white and you can have black, and I don't particularly like that dotty effect that you get on the sporty kind of seats there. Just because, for me, cleaning it and things like that, I can imagine being a bit more of a pain in the ass to clean. But it's no. Oh, the other thing is, and this is something that people have complained about, the cup holder thing. So there's no cup holder, and there is a little adapter thing for a cup holder in there, but it's not great. And there's nothing in the side either. So yeah, and I don't like the doors as much to put your arm on. Not as comfortable. It's silly things like that I actually, I don't know if it's just an age thing as you get older, but I definitely like to have my creature comforts in terms of like not hurting my elbows after like resting them for like 10 minutes. And that on the right, it's not bad. Actually, it's not bad. It's just not as good as the Model 3. And I honestly can say that I prefer my Model 3 to this Model S. I don't know what the latest ones. I forgot what they're called now. Not Falcon. What are they called? Raven. Is it Raven? I think the latest Model S and X. I don't know what the interior and the performance and the ride is like on them, but on this it just feels very less responsive. It really sums up the comparison between the Model S and the Model 3, and I prefer the interior and the minimalistic look of the Model 3 over the Model S. So yeah, that's my little small thoughts on the difference. But yeah, I can't wait to get my Model 3 back, to be honest. I'm missing it already. And so an update on the Model 3. So it's not going to be in for the whole day, because this is actually the next day, and it's been in for the whole day today as well. And what they said was that apparently they had their lead technician on it yesterday, and they couldn't install the software. It kept failing with them as well. So they've now got an engineer looking at it. So they haven't got back to me all day, and so it's going to fall into. So I took it on Wednesday. It's Friday tomorrow, so it will be in. Well, it's been in for 2 days. Hopefully, I'll get it back tomorrow. Okay, so the last time we spoke, I'd taken the car in on the Wednesday, and I was hoping to get it back. It was the Thursday I was talking to you guys. I was hoping to get it back on the Friday. Well, that was 2 Fridays ago, I think. We're now... No, the Friday comes. We're now on Tuesday. It'll be Wednesday tomorrow, obviously, and it will be So I've basically sum up. It's been 2 weeks tomorrow that the car has been at the Tesla service centre. So for something that I thought literally would take half an hour for them just to download the latest software, it has actually been 2 weeks. Now, they've been pretty much regularly texting me. If not every day, every other day, they text me to keep me up to date with what's going on. So what has been going on? Well, basically, it turns out it wasn't just a simple Wi-Fi thing, which I thought it was. And I think the last time I spoke, they had the technician guy, top technician guy. They were going to get an engineer to have a look at it. Now that happened over a few days. They were talking to the engineers. They still couldn't figure out what it was. And they decided it must be let me just turn the aircon off for a minute. They decided it must be the SD card, which I just thought was quite amusing, because they said we're going to get the part in for tomorrow. And I felt like just saying, well, I can just pop into Jessop's and get you one. But I'm assuming it's more than just a standard SD card. So anyway, so they got this part in. This was last Thursday, I think. Which was already a week out, so it's already been in a week. So they got this SD card in, and they fitted that, and that didn't work either. So then I guess they were just scratching their heads, because I kept seeing software update available over the period of like a few days, and then software failed over a period of a few days. So they're also trying lots of things out, none of which worked. And so then they sent me a text on Friday, just gone, saying that they're getting the engineer guys that they were speaking to come directly into the service centre to look at the car, and that was on the Friday. Then on Monday, so we're on Tuesday today. On Monday, yesterday, I got another message from them, basically saying that they've decided it's the MCU. The main control unit, I think that stands for, or main computer unit, I'm not sure. But basically, I guess the main motherboard, there's just something wrong with it. So they were then going to get a new motherboard, and that apparently came this morning. And that was the last. So the last text I've got is them saying we've got the MCU, and we'll be fitting that today. And it's now tonight. I haven't had anything back since that was at 9 o'clock this morning, so I'm assuming it went all right. I've looked on my phone to see if the car comes up. It just says in service, so there's no hint if that has worked or not. I mean, if that doesn't work, I don't know what will. I'll just get a new car, I think. So yeah, so there you go. That is the update. I'm hoping, because I'm going camping again on Saturday. Friday, so I'm hoping to do a video on how much gear you can kind of fit in the car when you're camping. Obviously that's not going to be much use if I've got the Model S still. In regards to the Model S, it's weird, I've got used to it now. When I first drove it, I was saying it was a bit like a comparison between a jet ski and this being the Model 3 being a jet ski and this being like a yacht. And I don't feel like that anymore, because I've just got so used to this. It feels a lot sharper, but in a way I'm just really looking forward to one Model 3 again, because I can imagine it's going to be feeling a lot sharper and like the regen on this, whereas if the regen on this was a lot less aggressive than the Model 3, I've got used to it now and it feels quite aggressive. Weirdly, it's just like you get what you do, you just get used to things. But I still much prefer my Model 3. Like I said, this is quite rattly, this car, and I think most of the rattle, some of it sounds like it's coming from the suspension, which isn't good. And this has only done 25,000 miles. It's not even done that much. Maybe it's been completely ragged by people that borrowed it. I don't know. They've gone off-roading or something. But the suspension doesn't sound good. But there's another rattle when you're on the motorway at a certain speed. In fact, there's a certain section on the M25, and I'm sure most of you guys that drive around London will know this section on the M25, which is I think roughly between 9 and 12. and I don't know why they decided, it's been years, they made the M25 out of like some sort of playground concrete or something, because it doesn't matter what car you're in, it makes the most awful noise on your tyres. It sounds like you've got a flat tyre. And on this car, there's a really annoying rattle, and I figured it out, and it's the air vents, or one of them at least, which makes me wonder if it was like a common problem, which is why in the Model 3 they went for the whole, just the air strip, and that kind of solved that problem. But yeah, this car is rattly. It's a rattly car, and I can see why there's been so many complaints about the interior and just the overall build quality of the Model S's when you're paying basically nearly 80 grand. But it is a nice car, you know, I like it. But I just prefer my Model 3, and I just really want it back now, because it's been 2 weeks. I actually only owned the car for 2.5 weeks, so I've nearly had the Model S for as long as I had the Model 3. The Model 3's nearly been in service as long as I had it, and it's frustrating now, because there's something nice about being one of the first people to own the Model 3 as well, and be able to drive around and people asking you questions about it and things like that. And of course you just don't get that in the Model S, and I know it's going to be not long before everyone's got Model 3 and it's going to be like common as muck. So I wanted to make, you know, to take advantage of that sort of kind of privilege of having a Model 3, and it's kind of lost 2.5 weeks on that. But I know, you know, that to be fair, there's a lot of you guys that are still waiting for your Model 3s who probably ordered before me as well. So really, I've got my just desserts there. Like, you guys deserved the Model 3 before me, but hey, anyway. So I'll probably get it back by the time everyone gets theirs. We shall see. And that's if my Model 3 is sold with the MCU. If that's not the part, I'd probably be waiting until, I don't know, October or something for another car. Anyway, so there you go. That's the update. I'll hopefully get this video out for tonight, so it'll kind of be up to date then, and then I'll give you an update tomorrow, hopefully, on what's going on. So if you like this video, please remember to subscribe, and also hit the notification button so you're alerted when I upload another video. And also, please feel free to use my referral, which is in the description below, which will allow both of us to get 1,000 miles of free supercharging for our cars, as well as a chance to win a Founders Edition of a Model Y or a Roadster, which would be pretty awesome. Until next time, bye!